Hello again. Today we are going to talk about drawing a picture to help you solve a math problem. We are not quite going to turn this into art class, but we are going to make it a little more fun than usual, hopefully. So, here we go. I'm going to start with the problem in your book on page 122. So this is the example that they have, and I'm just going to walk you through it. It says, Susan, Yuri, David, and Ramona are in a race. Right now, Susan is 6 meters ahead of Yuri. So in this picture, you can see that here's Yuri, and here's Susan, and he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 behind her, so she's 6 ahead of him, okay? And then it says, David is 4 meters behind Susan. Yuri is 9 meters behind Ramona. In what order are the runners from first to last? Okay, then it says you can draw a picture to help you solve the problem. Here's a way to show that Susan is 6 meters ahead of Yuri. So again, they've done that part for you. And then they ask you to copy the diagram, which I've just done. Draw a dot at the place that shows that David is 4 meters behind Susan. So now, knowing that David is 4 meters behind Susan, we're going to go to Susan. We're going to back up 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to put a dot, and we're going to call that David. And then we need to draw a dot under Ramona's position. Ramona says Yuri is 9 meters behind Ramona, which means Ramona's going to be in front of Yuri. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like I need to draw another line. And then this is Ramona up here. So this is the order of the runners, and we can answer questions about their order based on this diagram. So one of the questions is, how far ahead of Yuri is Ramona? And we already said 9. So we answered that question. Now, if we were to list the runners in order from first to last, we would have to start at the front, which means furthest to the right. Up here would be number 1, so Ramona is first. Susan is second. Third would be right here, David. And then fourth would be Yuri. Okay? So then the last question is, how far ahead of each other, each other runner is the runner who is in first place. So how far ahead is Ramona from everybody else? So Ramona is 1, 2, 3 ahead of Susan. She's 4, 5, 6, 7 ahead of David. And she's 8, 9 ahead of Yuri. Okay, now for this problem, for the next one, I haven't drawn anything yet because I want you to kind of see my thought process as I do the problem, as I'm reading it. So your thought process doesn't have to be the same as mine. I just wanted to give you an example of how you can think through these problems. So the problem starts off, Chris plants some flowers. The roses are to the left of his house. So right away in this problem, the first thing I notice is, okay, he's planting some flowers around his house. So it would probably help me in my picture if I drew a house. So I'm going to draw a house. It might not be a very good drawing, but it doesn't have to be good. It just has to help you think through it. Okay, so maybe I'll give it a little door and a window. Yeah, that could be fun. Okay, so Chris has a house. Now, the other thing I know about this problem, based on what I've read so far, is that there are roses. Now, it specifically says the roses right after it says flowers in general. So I know that roses are going to be a specific kind of flower in this problem. So I'm going to put a red R up here to remind myself that roses are one piece of this puzzle. Okay? And it says that they are to the left of the house, so I'm actually going to move this to the left of the house. Okay, the tulips are to the right is the next part of the problem. So I'm going to make a T, but I think I'm going to do it in purple. I like purple. Okay, so a T, there's for tulips. But it says the tulips are to the right of the daisies. Oh, we don't know where the daisies are yet. But we can draw a yellow D. That seems like it would be helpful. So here we go, daisies. And the tulips are to the right of the daisies, so we'll move the T to the right of the daisies. Okay? And to the left of the roses. So if the tulips are to the left of the roses, that means the tulips are going to go over here, and the daisies are going to go over here. Now it says the lilacs. Oh, I probably should have saved purple for lilacs. That's okay. Let's make it a darker purple, maybe. The lilacs are to the left of the daisies. So there's the lilacs, and they are to the left of the daisies, which, okay, puts them just on the edge. So which flowers are farthest from the house? Okay, so by the time I get to the last question, because I've been drawing my way through the problem, I already know the answer. It's the lilacs. The lilacs are farthest from the house because in the diagram that I made, they're the farthest. Okay, now in this problem, I'm going to go ahead and read it all the way through, and then I'm going to go back and use the information that I need to solve the problem. So let's read through it. 4 cyclists have completed the race. Kim is 3 kilometers ahead of John. John is 4 kilometers ahead of Lil. Bob is 6 kilometers ahead of Kim. In what order did the cyclists finish the race? So we have 4 cyclists. So what I'll probably want to do, they all have different first letters of their names. So I will probably go ahead and write their first letters. So here's a K for Kim, and a J for John, and a B for Bob, and an L for Lil. Okay, now I'm also, just like we did in the first problem, I'm going to want to use a number line, just because number lines help us because we know exactly how many spots ahead and behind people are. So, it says Kim is 3 kilometers ahead of John. So wherever we put Kim, it means that John needs to be 1, 2, 3 behind her. Okay? And then John is 4 kilometers ahead of Lil. So Lil is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 kilometers ahead of Lil. Okay, then Bob is 6 kilometers ahead of Kim. So it looks like I did not make enough lines. And that might happen. So we'll go ahead and delete that number line. And we'll make another one. Sometimes when you do this, your drawings might not turn out exactly right, and you may have to redo stuff. So that's okay. Let's make a couple more lines here. Notice I'm making my lines a little smaller this time. Okay, so again, we have Kim is 3 kilometers ahead of John. So here we'll put Kim maybe here, and then John 1, 2, 3. And then John's 4 ahead of Lil, so Lil goes 1, 2, 3, 4 behind John. And then Bob is 6 kilometers ahead of Kim, so we're going to take Bob and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Now we fit everybody on. So then when it asks us in what order did the cyclists finish, we can just simply say that Bob was first, Kim was second, John was third, and Lil was fourth. We've answered our question. Okay, so that concludes our lesson part. Now you may go ahead and do the homework. Be sure and let Miss Lee know if you have any questions, and please, please, please remember to draw these things. Don't just try to answer them in your head, okay? Good luck, you guys!